So Warner Brothers found themselves sued and exposed, and for the very things that they say that they stood with a certain Aquaman starlet to challenge, that they fired JD because of. Yep, this bombshell litigation here, it shows exactly who they are and why they supposedly stand behind the scenes. Crazy thing about this, too, is they did not want this to go to trial. They ended up settling this out of court. Why? Well, again, it shows exactly who they are. We've talked about this before in passing, but we've never looked at the court documentation, so we're going to do that today. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And quickly, before we get started, check out and back our project. It is live on Indiegogo right now. We desperately need your help. This is our alternative to an industry that does not like you. Check it out. Thank you. So if you haven't heard of this litigation, it is a doozy with complaints about everything that Warner, they say they stand against. You have complaints of gender discrimination, retaliation, failure to prevent discrimination, retaliation and harassment, wrongful termination, and fair pay violation. Now, as far as this complaint goes, you need to remember something, too. Again, Warner Brothers, they decided to settle this because they didn't want this to go to court. This is a tale, too, of somebody that worked their way up from the lowest rungs to the highest ones of power, only to see Warner Brothers cripple them because of the same things they say that they oppose. Quote, Plaintiff Susan Steen was employed at Warner Brothers for over 31 years, from 1987, when she was hired as a secretary, until late 2018. Through hard work and dedication, she climbed the corporate ladder to become the Executive Vice President of Worldwide Marketing Services and Head of Marketing Services posts. Ms. Steen had an exemplary and unblemished Warner Brothers career spanning throughout her 31 years of service. However, Ms. Steen's rise in the company did not come without great cost to her. She often faced hostility and resistance from the quote-unquote old boys club, comprised of senior male managers who resisted Steen's decisions and directives. Male executives in the home entertainment division took concerted efforts to block Steen's access to necessary information to do her job and routinely spoke to her in a demeaning, combative manner, even in executive meetings. Steen reported that she felt harassed as a woman and was being subjected to gender bias by specific male members of the senior management. Despite complaints to her direct supervisor, to numerous executives, and to members of the human resources, her complaints were dismissed as, quote, silly, unimportant, and uncomfortable to address. Soon after her complaints, Ms. Steen was targeted with aggressiveness, threats, and retaliation. As just one example, at meetings, the male executive VP of Home Entertainment stood over Ms. Steen, aggressively wagging his finger in her face, invading her personal space, and threatening a reorganization that would quote-unquote not go well for Ms. Steen. Rather than properly escalate, investigate, and address plaintiff's complaints by taking appropriate corrective action, on December 20th, 2018, Warner Brothers retaliated against plaintiff by terminating her for false and pretextual reasons. Now, as far as Susan Steen's rise to power and why people get mad, look at how this goes. It isn't just 31 years of service. Again, she starts at secretarial services, 1989 to 2001. She gets at least 5 promotions. 2001, she goes to Vice President of International Marketing Services. 2008, Senior Vice President of Worldwide Theatrical Marketing Services. And then in 2014 and again in 2015, she sees her increased responsibilities, going from taking over on-lot finishing facilities to overseeing the London-based Theatrical International Marketing Services team. Now, while she's doing that, overseeing it for over 3.5 years, profits soar from $4 million to $12.5 million. Now, this leads to her getting promoted yet again in 2018, and this is where the problems ensue. She takes over Executive Vice President of Worldwide Marketing Services, Head of Marketing Services post. She doesn't have any problems up to that. Unblemished career. In fact, you look at her compensation, it goes up tremendously, but she's tasked tasked with overseeing consolidation of the home entertainment and theatrical teams with the specific objective of achieving cost savings for Warner Brothers. Now, after months of assessing home entertainment spending, she concluded that significant print production changes were needed. That's the team's largest expenses. Now, in order to cut costs, she proposed to merge home entertainment and theatrical division print production under one third-party creative agency. Now it was not something people wanted to hear, and it prompted swift and hostile response from the home entertainment division, whereas she says an old boys club comprised of senior male managers resisted plaintiff's new role over them. These same male senior management people, they sought to undermine her decisions and directives, block access to information, and cause her problems where she could not do her job. Now, beginning in or about the third quarter of 2018, she complains to her direct supervisor about this, as well as numerous executives and members of HR, that she was being subjected to gender bias and harassment by these specific male members of senior management. These folks, they do not want to handle this either. They tell her these complaints are silly, they're unimportant, and they're uncomfortable for them to address. Now, from that point, until the date of her termination, she says that she's experienced an escalation in this. And she says that at escalation, it was because those people, they knew that this was going on. So beginning in or around the third quarter of 2018, she also complained of disparity in pay existing between men and women, such that, based on her overall compensation, she was being paid less than her male counterparts, despite performing comparable job duties. Now, as this starts coming up, again, she's met with hostility, she says. And then, when you go forward all the way to December 20th, 2018, without any type of warning, she was terminated, quote unquote, without cause, purportedly for sharing an email with a vendor in violation of non-disclosure agreement. In fact, plaintiff shared a non-confidential document commonly shared in the creative agency industry. Now remember this case, it was settled behind the scenes, and Warner, if they thought that they had a case, they would go to war. They have been going to war with their own business partners, in fact, so that says something about them. I mean, in front of you, they tell you, we stand here, we stand with that certain Aquaman starlet, we've gotten rid of JD, look at how great we are. And maybe, just maybe, the reason that they do that, behind the scenes, this is exactly what the company looks like. Anyhow, check out our project. Make sure that you back it. It is live right now on Indiegogo. We are working our way towards huge milestones, but we desperately need your help. Companies like this, they do not appreciate your money. They denigrate their consumers. They put out terrible products. We're going to put together something good. That's something that challenges industry norms. When you're walking away, you need something to walk toward. Check that out. Thank you. Also, thank you for being here. I'm going to end here. Again, thank you, and we will see you shortly.